what has been happening, why we do what we do, and where we are now. So I'll start by just speaking on, I think I would pick this. This would be better for me. Central bank, our bank, because it's our central bank, is mandated to ensure monetary and price stability. It's mandated by the Act to issue legal tender currencies. It's mandated also to maintain our external reserves and to promote a sound financial system alongside being the banker and financial advisor of the federal government. So these are the core mandates of the central bank. However, it's also, by law, empowered to do some developmental functions. And in doing that, it gets the aid to, and it gets the developmental functions facilitate the attainment of our core mandate. So somehow they give us the push. Those developmental functions that we carry out give us the push to achieve our mandate. So the developmental functions and the Development Finance Department is the department that is mandated to oversee the developmental activities and initiatives and programs of the bank. And one of such functions of the bank is ensuring price and monetary stability. So I would like to take a case study around this function and see how our developmental functions aid and ensure that we achieve this mandate. As I said, it's backed by law. What we do is backed by law, and the developmental functions serve as complementary to achieving our mandate. If, as central bank, we achieve price stability, how would we say we have achieved price stability? We would say we've achieved price stability by measuring inflation in the economy, right? If there's inflation, prices of Gari is 200 today, is 500 tomorrow, is, we are not achieving price stability. So the inflation in the economy points out to the fact that prices are not stable. So as central bank, we say, hey, we need to move into that space. What is happening? Our mandate is achieving price and monetary stability. Let us do something that would spur activities in the agricultural sector, because agriculture is one of the indices or is one of the things that we use to, in the consumer price index, is one of the things that we use to measure what is happening in the prices. So if we spur activities in the agricultural sector, people are able to farm more, we're able to attain some level of self-sufficiency in the food that we eat. We're a population of over 200 million, so you can just imagine, if we cannot produce what we eat, we would have to be buying more, and that would eat into our reserves, and that would just make things not stable. So the central bank performs some of the developmental functions in agri, particularly to ensure monetary and price stability. And in doing that, we also work, not as central bank, as the MC said, we cannot open accounts for individual Nigerians, but we do so through participating financial institutions like banks, developmental organizations, and all that. So that is how we act, and that is how we intervene. We've done a lot in almost every sector of the economy, in agriculture, in infrastructure, manufacturing, health, and small and medium-scale enterprises. And I'm pretty sure we all know that it's not a hidden fact that the development of any economy thrives on how good, on how well the small and medium-scale enterprises thrive. So we have intentionally moved into that space, providing access to finance, in affordable means. Our interest rates are single digit and all that. So all these have been efforts that the central bank has put in to ensure that there's growth in the economy, there's sustainable growth, there's employment generation, and that we're achieving our core mandates of maintaining price stability, of conserving the reserves of Nigeria, and ensuring that we get to where we want to get to as a country. So the core objectives, as I said earlier on, is we want to increase lending to high-impact sectors. These high-impact sectors are sectors that have that ability to generate employment, that have that ability to push the needed impact in the economy, like manufacturing. We're a highly, would I say, import-dependent country. And these things that we import doesn't mean that we cannot produce them. In Nigeria, we have the resources, we have the manpower, we have the skills, we have what it takes. But what are the things? Why can't we produce the things that we consume? I remember a time when they said even the toothpick that we use to pick our tooth, that we have to import. The clothes we wear, we import. So there's been a lot of encumbrances in terms of infrastructure. So what we do, we try to intervene in spaces where the impact, like in energy, when we have enough energy, the manufacturing industries are able to move, they're able to get the needed electricity and energy needed, and we're able to boost productivity and manufacturing. So we intervene also with the objective of diversifying the economy. You would all agree with me that agriculture at a point was almost thrown to the wind. When the oil boom came, everybody is oil money, oil money, oil money. Nobody looked at manufacturing. Nobody looked at the service sectors. Nobody looked at education or mining. We just threw everything to the wind. So we're consciously and intentionally looking at sectors that can bring us up, that can boost up economic development in Nigeria. We also intervene with the objective of ensuring that we conserve our foreign exchange. As I said, we're a highly import-dependent country. We can produce what we consume and conserve our foreign exchange. So, these are the sectors that we have actually moved in. We've moved in intervening in the agri sector, in the manufacturing sector. We've intervened in MSME sector, in the energy sector, and we have a bouquet of initiatives under these sectors. We've intervened in the health sector. You would agree with me that at the advent of COVID-19, it just exposed us to the possibility and then the reality that we actually need very good health care services. People that had money could not get treated, even with their money. People died because, okay, they had pending medical trips to take, but there was no means of traveling out. So it just brought to the fore that problem, and the Central Bank of Nigeria rose to the occasion, and in consultation with the necessary stakeholders in such sectors, we're able to come up with interventions. The health sector research and development intervention scheme was developed there. The health sector intervention facility, where hospitals were able to access funds to boost and to encourage and to increase the capacity which they operate. In the export sector, I'm sure all of you, some of you must have heard about the 100 for 100 policy on productivity, production and productivity. We're intervening in that space to ensure that we not only are sufficient in producing what we consume, but we get to a point where we produce and even export out. So the central bank has been deliberate and has put in efforts to ensuring that we get to that sufficiency level. So I would briefly run through some of, as business people, I'm pretty sure that you must have had questions. Okay, if this is what you say you are doing, how can we access? What are the interventions in the first place? And how can we assess them? We have the MSME, that is the Small and Medium Enterprises Investment Scheme, the AGSMIS, which is very popular among small businesses. The objective of the AGSMIS was to boost not only having access to finance. We realized that finance is not the only thing that businesses need. If you have the necessary finance, but you don't have the skill, you don't have the competence, as Fifi just said, you might just be heading for the rocks. So this intervention particularly took into cognizance that need and factored in a developmental part which gives people the capacity, business the capacity. You have to go through a training program. You have to be certified that, yes, you have this program, and then you would have a privilege to access the fund. So under the AGSMIS, we have a loan component of up to 10 million at 9% interest. You also have the equity component and then the developmental component. You can access this through NISAL Microfinance Bank and then any other approved EDI. So this is just telling us what the objective is. To improve access to finance by agri-businesses and MSMEs, and then also that MSMEs hit the real sector. That is, we go into manufacturing, go into mining, pharmaceuticals, petrochemicals, and services. So another intervention which I know would be of great interest to us is the SciFi, that is the creative industry financing industry. Services have been looked upon as, we can export services. I hope we know this, our singers, Davido, and all these other artists, they're service industries that have high potential for export. So the central bank looked into that and came up with this intervention for the creative industry, the SciFi. And under that, we have verticals like fashion industry, the ICT, the movie industry, and then the music industry. And what you can access under this loan would be charged at an interest rate of 9% per annum. And also, it will depend on which vertical you're accessing the loan. The bank also recently, last year, to be particular in October, looked at the problem of unemployment, especially youth unemployment, and said the weight that government can take, as in government jobs, cannot absorb the teeming youth or the teeming number of graduates in Nigeria. So the central bank looked and said we would create this, we would move into this space and create a paradigm shift. The essence and the objective was to create a paradigm shift among youth so that before even graduation, you start looking at what is it that I can do. I don't have to probably hang on my auntie or my uncle to say, look for a job for me, or to insist that I have to work with the government parastatal right from being in school and immediately after school. This intervention would provide I think, is the light coming on soon? Also have, before it comes on, recently last, you know, the COVID-19 came up with so much. It brought up, it's not just a Nigerian thing, but globally. The global economies are experiencing some kind of eruptions. There's inflation. Things are not the way they used to be. And central banks worldwide took up the initiative or took up the responsibility of eating out on the populace of countries. Nigeria was no exception. So last year, we experienced the conceptualization of two major initiatives that aim at spurring economic activities, that aim at improving and boosting production and productivity. One of such is the 100 for 100 policy on production and productivity. 100 for 100, what does that mean? The central bank aims to finance 100 companies, every other 100 companies that have impact, high employment generation impact, and have the impact increase and to boost production and productivity, that have the potential to reverse over-dependence on imports. You and I would agree with me that our taste buds for imports is not here. We love importing things. However, we have that capacity to do and produce what we consume. Before now, I might not have considered this adire, but I know that when I patronize Nigerian-made things, when I consume Nigerian-made food, I am impacting invariably on the economy of Nigeria. I'm encouraging an entrepreneur, my fellow Nigerian, to boost production, to boost productivity, and that is the aim of what central bank does in bringing on interventions. When we patronize Nigerian-made things, we also help in helping central bank to conserve our foreign exchange. Because when we import things, we have to use the dollar to pay back. We don't know our naira. And dollar would not fall from the sky. If we import a lot, that means we're eating deep into our reserves. Because we're not even producing a lot, we don't have what it takes to back our reserves. So looking at that and bearing in mind what we are mandated to do, all these initiatives we have put in place, and with the cooperation of all Nigerians and with the knowledge that we have now, you know that you have access to finance. You know that if you have a business, that if you want to go into importing, if you want to go into mining, if you have that ability to produce pharmaceutical products, if you have that ability, or you're a seamstress, you can make the necessary inquiries, because we don't do direct lending. We do onward lending through participating financial institutions, through deposit money banks. So the questions we get every day is, I hear central bank is giving a loan. I hear central bank, there's an intervention. How can I access? What do I do? Just like the MC said, some people walk up to CBN and say, I want this, I want that. But the channel, and why part of the reasons why we took opportunity of coming here today, is to inform you all that the channel by which you can access these interventions is through your banks. You cannot come directly to central bank. You have to go through your banks. The banks have to do their necessary due diligence. They have to ensure that, yes, you're credit worthy, carry out their KYC, and do all their necessary due diligence before giving out the intervention. So many people say, that is just a scam. Central bank is just making noise that they're doing this and that, but it's just a scam. It might not be real, or probably they're just giving a select few and they're being selective. No, I'm here today to tell you that it is what you know. You know now that you can access such finance. The difference between the success or the failure of a business might just be 50,000 naira. It might just be 100,000 naira. So you don't need to allow your business die in silence like mine. You can reach out to your bank, and as I said, we're making it affordable because all our loans are single-digit loans. We're making it affordable. If you go to collect a loan from commercial banks, you might be hearing interest rates of, I hope you can hear me at the bank. Oh my God. Okay, let me come forward a bit.